This guy was here last year as the Browns tight end coach. Had just gotten the job. Now Tommy Rees is here as the Browns' new offensive coordinator. Thanks for doing the pod.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, looking forward to it.
How's it different this year for you?
Well, first of all, last year had been a while since I've been at the Combine, so just kind of getting your bearings, getting back used to the flow of the days and kind of the cadence of how things are run. But, this year, and what's exciting is last year when a lot of the focus is tight ends and, you want to watch the other positions, but you're really focused on the tight ends. In the role now, you really have your hands on all the position groups on offense, and you're in those meetings, getting to know the players that you've spent so much time watching the film on. So, that part's really exciting. And, obviously we have a ton of opportunity this year in the draft. So getting to know these guys has been a really exciting part of the process.
Is getting to know the big headline here, because a lot of the big names are not working out. That seems to be a trend, and it's growing more and more and more. The medical is probably not your pay grade.
Right.
So how important is the getting to know factor?
Yeah, I think this is like a first impression. You get some time with them, probably not as much time as you'd like. That there's more time throughout the process to get to know them. This is almost that first impression, early introductory stages of, the person they are, the football IQ, the things that you're looking for from a trait standpoint. And then, there's enough guys here on the field, and, just because the marquee guys aren't working out, you can still find, some value in the workouts. So, I always look forward to this time of the year, and I really do like the evaluation process.
I'm not going to ask you to rank your quarterbacks. I'm not going to put you in that spot. But generally, how have the quarterback meetings gone?
Yeah, really positive. I think, these guys now do such a great job of preparing for this.
Is it too much? Is it scripted?
No, I think that's the balance that you want to find. Who's in there, who's authentic, who's a little bit scripted, but, they are very thoughtful, and everybody's done a nice job of preparing for this, and their coaches throughout college have prepared them for this opportunity. And, you get them in their comfort level. When you turn on their film, they get to start talking about them playing, and you really see those guys light up. So they've all done a really nice job. Obviously, they're not here if they haven't had great careers. So, it's our job to continue to evaluate it and, see where it goes.
It struck me, and just as we tape this, I'm just coming from the podium where all the quarterbacks did their media availability Friday morning, is the wide range of personalities, right?
Yeah.
Shador's got the hat on backwards. It's that permanent smile. He's jousting with the media. Cam, very serious.
Right.
He's worked hard to be there. He's proud of his accomplishment and the road and the path that it took to get him here. There's Will Howard smiling. Sad I want to talk about Michigan. I'm here to talk about the Combine. There's Kyle McCord. Obviously, he and Kevin shared the same high school.
Right.
I'm a Syracuse guy. He elevated a program. It's like there's kind of something for everyone in
right.
this group.
And I think when you look across the NFL and you look at successful quarterbacks, that truly is how it goes, right? There's not one personality trait. There's not one characteristic that you can pinpoint and say, this is what a quarterback is, or this is how a quarterback has to act. I think, now more than ever, you see a wide range of personality. You see a wide range of characteristics. And again, we got to go through this whole process with these guys and evaluate, how that fits into what we're trying to do.
We got a lot of starting experience. You, 50 games in college? Overall, big picture, not starting, I realize. Bill Musgrave, college legend, played in the NFL. Obviously, Kevin's background, he was a defensive back, but his background coaching the NFL on the offensive side. When you have three guys like that in the room, what are those conversations like? And what kind of unique insight do all of you have offensively, quarterback-wise?
Yeah, and I'll speak, both Kevin and Bill have been in a lot of different offensive systems throughout their career. They've been exposed to a lot of different quarterbacks, a lot of quarterback styles throughout their career. So, being able to see a player, then attribute it to something in their past of how it's worked, how it's been successful, or how maybe something hasn't been successful. And was that part of the plan? Was that part of the player? Is there somewhere in between? So feeling that balance there. Obviously I think Muss, having played both at a high level in college and in the NFL, he can still see the game through that lens. He still knows what it's like to be in a quarterback meeting room, to have that relationship with the players from a backup perspective. And there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of value in still feeling the position and understanding what it looks like day to day to be in that room, to be in that role. So I think we have a wealth of knowledge, and it's our job again to put it all together to make the right decisions.
Help me out with seeing a quarterback throw in person and what you get from it, because a bunch of the big name guys we know are not going to throw here. Every quarterback coach, every OC wants to, or scout says, I got to see it in person.
Right.
Got to see and hear how the ball comes out of his hand. Here they are throwing, for the most part, with guys They
Yeah.
don't know, right? Guys are also trying to make an impression, and often those guys aren't on the same page.
Right.
The pro days, on the flip side, though, often seem scripted.
Yeah.
Right? There is chemistry.
Right.
But at the same time, they've gone through this. They practiced it the day before. You probably have the script before it even goes and the cameras start rolling. Can you get more out of a guy throwing to people he doesn't know?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're looking at the fluidity of the passer. You're looking at consistency mechanically for short, intermediate, and deep passes. And I think everybody always talks about, hey, these guys haven't thrown with these guys. I remember what that's like. I'm sure Bill Musgrave obviously remembers what that's like as well. But if you're accurate and you can time things up, you should be able to time it up with guys. And I think
if he didn't catch it, he didn't catch it.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to understand, like, where is the miss, right? Like, if you're throwing an out route, you better not miss inside. So if a guy misses a little wide, that's an okay miss versus he left that one a couple yards inside. Can he fix that on the next opportunity? And so you're looking at those correctable errors and things that are probably a little bit nuanced. But, I do think if you're accurate, you can come out here and still hit a high number of completions.
Are you guys going to have personal workouts aside from pro days? Does that have value?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value to getting back with the guys, having more time both in the classroom, on the field, having the opportunity to be around them one-on-one. Again, like I said, this is more of a first impression, but being able to see and build that relationship more as the process goes on is really important to how we need to evaluate these guys. So I'm looking forward to those steps of having guys, in Cleveland, being able to go out on the road and see some guys throw at their places, and it should be an exciting offseason.
And fans sometimes, you get it mixed up. Oh, well, so-and-so quarterback is in town, they're going to be throwing in Berea. They're not. They can't throw
Correct.
on those 30 visits. That's more.
You got to get
the
to
building.
their campus. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go through everyone's office. It's shaking a lot of hands.
It's shaking a lot of hands,
dinner.
and and there's some aspect of, can we put them in a competitive environment? Can we put them in a quarterback room environment, see how they process, see how they learn, figure out kind of the role there, the relationship they can build. Can you get them to kind of open up? And, they got all these, like you said, scripted answers, how they're supposed to act. Can you get them to be authentic? Can you get them to be themselves and really open up who they are?
Real quick here, on your experience in Indianapolis, because I know having dinner and going out at night and just running into people at coffee shops, no reporter fights, but running into people at coffee shops, everyone's trying to figure out, like, what are the Titans doing? Like, what are the Giants doing? What is anyone doing in the top 10? Like, what's that like for you in this new role? In not the gossip machine,
I
but
got you.
Yeah,
I get it. No, I think the combine. Look, everybody that has anything to do with the NFL is here, right? And you can't go more than 20 steps without running into somebody And it is a great opportunity to see guys that you've worked with or know, and to catch up. But it's also a good opportunity, like, for me personally, like, there are guys here that I'll sit down with for an hour or two and talk football and get different perspectives on how people are doing things. And, there is a lot of opportunity there too. So I look forward to the week. I like seeing, people that you kind of, as you get older, don't get to see as often. Yeah. And so, it's a good time. I mean, you know how it is, going out and eating, getting to catch up with people. You'll have conversations in places you never thought you'd have conversations, and you get to, keep on going throughout the week.
When any of those people ask you, what's the offense going to look like, what do you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to get too far into the weeds with everybody. I think we want to be a group that is extremely balanced, one that can create explosive plays while also being sound in what we do. And, we want our identity to start up front, and we want our identity to be one that can create explosive plays while, being able to start up front. And we just got to continue to go through the offseason. I've been really, really pleased with how the staff's shaken out and how things have come together and the way everybody's working right now. And so continue to get going, and this is just another part of the puzzle.
I mean, you're not rebuilding the playbook from scratch, obviously. You're not taking it down to the studs.
No, I mean, I think there is some of, like, every offseason you're going to evaluate what you do and how you want to enhance things. And, we're not stripping everything out, but we're going to look at the studs and make sure that they're secure. So, I mean, we've been going pretty at it now since the offseason started. Kevin and I have spent a lot of time together here over the last couple months, and we might not be taking those studs down, but we're evaluating them. We're looking at them. Like, there's some aspects of what the offense had looked like in the past, but we don't want to just hand that playbook out and flip it over. We want to enhance it. We want to look at how the game's evolved, how offensive football's involved, how we can put our wrinkle on it. We're not going to have any shortage of ideas coming from our staff, and, we value those inputs, and, we're excited to get to work. I mean, it is I would say it's been a really refreshing offseason in a way of just being able to kind of look at what we want to be and how we're going to do it, and then how that fits our players, which is such an important part of this thing. And but working with Kev and Chad and Bloom and the whole staff, it's really been a great first couple months of the offseason.
Last thing for you, just what's that working relationship in the lab, like creatively?
Yeah.
Because the side of Kevin on the podium is not necessarily the side that
right.
you see
right.
every day. Like, he's got some sarcasm, he's got some edge.
Yeah.
Like, when you guys are on the board, when you guys are spitting out ideas, when you guys are sitting across the table with your laptops open.
Yeah.
What's that dynamic like?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think Kevin and I see the game in a really similar way from a big picture standpoint. There might be different ways to get there, which I think is going to be where the really creative ideas and the things come together. But I think in terms of a big picture, we see the game very similarly. And you're right, Kev does have a different personality than probably everybody gets to see. I appreciate the sarcasm. I appreciate the sense of humor. I probably have a little too much of that in me myself. So it's definitely a good rapport. I obviously have a ton of respect for Kev and his football mind, and it's been great to be surrounded by him. But it's also my job to make sure that we push and try to find new ways and continue to challenge and see if there's other ways to do things, and even push people outside of their comfort zone to make sure that we're maximizing what we have and what we can do.
I'm looking at my watch at the date here. We are 10 days ahead of free agency, basically. We are 2 months ahead of the draft. I know I'm not patient. You're probably not patient.
I am not patient.
I cannot wait to see what it looks like. So good luck with all that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, we're looking forward to it, and it should be a fun ride.
All right. Thank you, Tommy.
Thanks so much.